Welcome, friends of Private Universe. Today, special show, spontaneous. Just walking here on the beach near my home in beautiful Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia, Norah Head specifically. The most beautiful beach you'll ever find anywhere in the world, really. I've travelled a lot, had the fortune to travel, and I'm very lucky to live here and be able to walk anytime pretty much I want, apart from when I'm working or occupied for the other 23 hours in the day. But other than that, I'm free to do whatever the hell I want. So it's wonderful. Monday morning, the ocean's beautiful, low tide, and just getting my feet wet here on the edge as this beautiful ocean just ebbs away. Just made me want to have a quick chat and possibly publish this. We'll see how it all works out. With regards to just trying to find things that make you happy. Just looking at this beautiful ocean, the horizon, the warm sun and the cool air of a May morning in the Southern Hemisphere. Everyone would know in the Southern Hemisphere what May is. Usually rainy, but this year, no cloud, warm sun, but that coolness of the air, which I love, really, the contrast. Some people dislike it, but I think there's something magical about an autumn, winterish day with full sun at 18, 19, 20 degrees. And it just makes you want to do a bit of exercise, walk, and of course, think about how to improve your life. Because in the end, my friends, I think really just walking here, it's all the simple things. We complicate life, us humans. We have this big, humongous brain, which is some wonderful art, of course, beautiful music. And yet, for most of us, it's very hard to grasp happiness. And I think that's because it's the nature of happiness itself. We are led to believe erroneously, a bit of a myth really, that we can be happy all the time. But I don't think we can. The nature of happiness is that it just fluctuates or ebbs away, a bit like this ocean, and we try to hold on to it. And that's why we make plans for holidays or parties and so forth, try to reach those peaks, yet we can't maintain it. It's like trying to grab water in your hands and it slips away, happiness. That's how we can get into trouble, my friends, trying to hit those peaks all the time, where really we have to be comfortable with the 5 out of 10s in life. The 10s out of 10s will come. Nice party, good people, traveling or doing something that's exciting, like jumping out of a plane with a parachute, hopefully. But these things are wonderful, yet we can't hold on to it because it's the nature of life and happiness that it should be so. All other animals, all other living creatures don't have this problem. They react to the environment. They don't worry about happiness. They need to eat, they eat. They need to sleep, they sleep, and so forth. Yet our big brain, because we are aware of our temporality, if you like, we're aware that we're going to die. That changes everything. We want to squeeze the most of it. And by trying to do that, we unconsciously, but actively, make our own problems. Because by getting too desperate in trying to be happy, ironically, that creates frustration, anxiety, and ultimately unhappiness, the opposite of what we're searching for. It's incredible that us being so intelligent and having an evolved brain that is capable of such wondrous things, yet in our daily life, domestically, we struggle. And that's the same for everyone, regardless of who you are, what gender, class, race, or even where you've lived and when you've lived, because things haven't changed much. And if we study the ancient Greeks, we notice that those same questions are still asked today. And the reason why we can't find an answer is because the complication of the process of trying to resolve these questions of happiness and life and love and God and all these other things become distorted by making things overly complex. And yet it's staring us right in the face, my friend, every day. The simple things, walking on the beach, ringing a friend, reading a nice book, having a nap, a nice siesta in the afternoon with the sun coming into your room through a window. Yeah, just these little number 5s out of 10s, which is 90% of life. When you're going to buy bread or you have to get in the car, to get something you forgot from the warehouse. That's still part of life. You don't recover that. They're the 5s, sometimes even the 3s and 2s. Yet they make 90% of our life. So it's important, my friends. I think what's come to my head today is that let's live in mediocrity, yeah? Live in mediocrity and feel happy with it, I suppose. Yet a lot of people would say that being average is bad, but you know what? I think even the people that are gifted and exceptional, 90% of their life they live average. They live in mediocrity, as we would call it, which is a terrible word, of course, but we might spend most of our time trying to be exceptional and waste the life that we actually have, the gift of existence that we have through the universe, not that anyone gave it to us. Very unlikely to exist, my friends, and yet here we are. Actually, it's very unlikely that there's life even on this planet, and yet here we are, let alone us individually existing. It's almost uncalculable, the unlikelihood of non-existing, and yet the only way we could have existed is exactly the way everything happened. Remember that. Someone had missed a bus a little while ago, you wouldn't have existed. Someone didn't bump into someone a few hundred years ago, you wouldn't have existed, and I wouldn't have either. Because that would have led to a chain of events that would have changed history itself, and possibly someone not conceiving at the right time for someone else to be born. And that would have been linked to us. So that's why I think a lot of us, and throughout time, trying to understand the immensity of it all. Human beings have attributed this chance, this existence to a higher divine being, but it's very hard to get our heads around it, in the sense that we're here now by pure chance, my friends. Yet we are here. Simplify your lives. Make sure whatever you're doing, I think, well, I'm going to try to anyway, even though I'm not Aristotle, I'm not trying to be, but because he didn't in the end find the solution. But then again, he did think that the sun revolved around the earth, and rightly so. When you look up in the sky, that's what it seems like. And rightly so, I suppose, we search happiness. But we can spend our whole lives trying to do this, trying to grab this water and press harder and see it filtering through our fingers. So I think just let it lay there and see what happens. But enjoy the little things, I think. Simplify your life, and remember that, the nature of happiness is so that we can never hold on to those peaks, those 10s. They're the 1% of lives, and they're lovely when they come, of course. Who hasn't had a great night or a wonderful time with someone, or been in a place that's magical, or even just a picnic with a family, and then it finishes all that trip that we've so longed for and organised and planned for and waited for. Then it comes and it goes. Sometimes too quickly, and sometimes without enjoying it fully, because there's so much pressure in really enjoying these moments, as opposed to just allowing them to happen, because the other 90%, the 5s, the mediocre times, if you like, of life, the average, the domestic side of things, the ordinary life, we allowed to slip away, concentrated on things that may or may not happen in the future, putting pressure on ourselves. So there you go, my friends. Here I am, beautiful beach here on the coast on a Monday morning when everyone's working, and enjoying this peace and quiet and having a good think, sharing thoughts. Hopefully you're all okay. Take care of yourselves, and remember, simplify, enjoy the average life. Carlos Camacho from Private Universe, bidding you farewell just for now. And remember, existence is the real miracle.